Hey everyone, welcome back to my Legends of Tomorrow review. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently. I don't have access to all my stuff right now. I'm moving things around, so I have to do this not live. But I'm trying not edit this all because I want to feel like I'm live. You know what I mean? But hopefully you can follow along. We start with Davies going to New York now, so he made it, and then he tells the legends that he's there, but how did Sara and without Hugh Gary, it's really unexplained, and how powerful that, what the key is, how magical the key is. It's like they're just waiting, like they're winning it, you know what I mean? It's so weird that they're able to hear Gary, and then when Sara and Beyond said to Davies that Nate and Zari are staying behind to figure out this Hooverbot situation, figure out why he's there, who sent him, and all that stuff. So they're in the mansion trying to figure it out, and then Gary sets pretty much mentions to the team that he's interested in Nate's love life. That's Gary for you. So then Ava wants ice cream, and then Gary tells her that he knows he saw a place of it near a park, and then there's this newsstand dude who looks at Sara and Ava, and he just gets mad because he overhears them talking about time travel, and they talk about time travel in front of people all the time, and that usually doesn't bother other people, but apparently this guy does. And then he gets angry, and then he shoots Sara, then she falls, but she survives because she heals herself, because she's not, the original Sara, you know what I mean? And then Baywad, thankfully for Baywad, he uses powers to push the dude, which he deserves. So Sara has the map to meet the Gwyn Davies guy. And then with Zari, we see that she is really at through the back of Hoover, so the Hooverbot's head, and like this blue ball that's gonna be important later. And then that Nate has a donuts that he got from Gary, and so when we see Gary, he doesn't have a box of donuts with him, and he doesn't, and the legends want to eat, you know what I mean? So why then? It's like Gary gave food to particularly Nate, but not to the rest of the legends, and that makes no sense. Because how did he? That's when we first hear him talk to the legends. Gary didn't have anything on him, and such a food, so that was confusing. I don't know why they did that, but the creature said that they had it inside a fridge or something. I don't know. That's the way that this Gary this scene of Gary was a little weird, the way it is. So apparently Zari has the ability to mute the Hooverbot with one of John Constantine's old computers. Like this, it's a laptop, but yeah, that's interesting. That I did more on that later, but yeah. So they find out that Sara needs to go to Edison Labs, and Thomas Edison is alive in 1925, so it's gonna be interesting here. And she wants to go out to find the research about Ava, because if something happens again, Sara's gonna be the one who can survive that, not Ava, you know what I mean? Sara and Gary are trying to find out who Davies is, and after people are walking out of the building, and almost instantly he's right there, and he's walking on a little bit more different than the rest, and so they just pinpoint at him. It's actually him. They should have made it a little bit harder for them. Sara wanted to do the scavenger hunt, and it's making it so easier. And I don't know what do I think about this, because it's too easy for them, you know what I mean? I understand that, but a lot to do in this episode, but still they could have made it a little bit more difficult, you know what I mean? And then he looks familiar to them, and there's a joke that he looks at Meg, like a young Monstein. Pretty much they're trying to avoid saying Constantine's name because that's actually meant Ryan. So she bumps into him on purpose, and then she takes a photo away from him in that pub. And what coincidence, that particular photo has the plans to the time machine that they're looking for, of all the photos he had on him. I don't know, it's a little too coincidental. It's hard to not like that, you know, too easy, you know what I mean? So then with the other side of the team, with that Astra, Spooner, and Gideon, and they'll just keep on walking apparently. And Astra and Spooner, they don't look tired at all. They're too tired, you know what I mean? They're just walking as if they haven't walked like hundreds of miles, you know. And Gideon says that they need to meet up with the legends by 7 p.m. or they will die. And why didn't Gideon say that earlier in the earlier episodes? Why is she just holding that information now? It just doesn't make sense, you know. So then the car passes by them, and Spooner gets mad, and Gideon acts all goofy for some reason. She's like Spooner's like yelling at the sky, and Gideon's like, hello. But that's like kind of unusual for Gideon to be like that way. That way after her being updated, you know what I mean? But that's fine, probably. It's just her being goofy. That's fine. So then Astra does like a luck spell, and then more on that later. And then we have Bayard and Zari talking that they feel that the time machine should be done within 5 years because they don't have that type of technology. Within that, and then Eva and Sara want to put a photo back in Davies' bag inside his apartment. So Sara finds the apartment for some out of nowhere, and then Sara puts the photo back, and then she turns on the light and sees the time machine almost built, and you could have seen that in the dark, you know what I mean? It's also right there. And how did she find his apartment? Don't know. And yeah, it's a little too much of a coincidence. That's interesting how they do it. But yeah, but Sara gets all decided that she sees time machine, so she's like ready to go home. And then Sara and Gary, they were for scavenger hunt because the time machine is missing a missing piece, which is why the machine isn't working right now. Then Gary tells Sara that he's into people, and kind of like Nate's love life pretty much. And so he thinks that Nate and Gary hooked up for some reason. And she's confused and all that stuff. Yeah. And then Bayard points out where he looks through the files or whatever, and then he points out where Davies got his parts for the time machine inside the acid labs. And it's interesting because it's missing for a reason. It may not be there, but yet it is. And more that a little bit later. But then Ava and Zari did why Davies found the time travel about getting a cred, and it's probably because he probably time traveled, and then he didn't get the cred because it's just he wasn't there to receive the cred for time machine for time travel, you know what I mean? Which does make sense. And Ava also it makes sense too. And Sara plans to return the time machine back, so once they are able to get time trios and return. Good luck. Yeah, it's a lot of planning ahead, but I like that. You know, that's actually good planning ahead, bringing things back to where it was. You know, so then back with Astra, Spooner, and Gideon. They want, since the troll brought down, she wants more luck, and the troll. So sorry, I forgot to mention that they found a troll to take them, but the troll brought down, and then this guy shows up with a race troll driver. He's known as Cannonball, and he He's a Spooner is a fan, just she recognizes him, and then he wants to put his own method of drawing, like to LA to New York, so then and that she wants to join him, so they didn't go to New York quicker, and Spooner and the rest of the girls, they just go with Cannonball, and they leave the other dude hanging. That was so funny. Yeah, that's kind of messed up, but yeah. With the rest of the legends now, we have several. They go to Astra Labs, and Kevin needs to find a partner. So it has to be with Davies, pretty much, so he doesn't like leave the room and see them using the time machine once they're up and running. Sarah lies to Davies about looking for the best project. Basically, she lies to him to keep him busy, and that she tells that Thomas Edison wants his opinions on the best projects out there, and then for some reason Gary found a missing piece that fast. And then with Zari, she's able to figure out that one of Hoover's tasks is finish the legends, and yeah, she's wondering what that is. And they just pan to Gary. So Gary sees Thomas Edison, and then he has to log out the piece because it's a part of the department, and he says that Gary tells Thomas that Gary is working for Davies in his department, and that Edison wants security at Davies' office, and he fires Davies, and then he kicks him out, and then he gets taken to Bellevue, basically a mental hospital type thing. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So then with the ladies on the road, the Cannonball dude that's pulled over in Astra, like pretty much tells the dude he'll want to arrest the guy who's like breaking records, and then he can escort it. It just feels like too easy, you know what I mean? Like, but Spooner takes his luck, so then they just keep on going, and then they think about Davies, and Zari's like interested, and they talked about the mansion, the pocket key dimension, where there'd be a place for them to be together without, be without dying. Like, which is basically like they want this is the original Zari, and they also want the other Zari to be out there, you know what I mean? So they want both of them to exist without being alive, and then so in a way it could work, so hopefully like we see that plan really work, and then we see that Hoover thinks that Zari feels all about all this, that maybe Zari's not really up for that yet, so something's bothering Zari right there with that. And then Ava points out that Davies plan on using the machine on Saturday, November 7th, so basically they're running out of time, and then Ava puts the partner inside the machine, and Ava and Gary out of nowhere just disappear, and Sara wants the time travel. She wants the time travel files from Edison to be passed through time. Basically, she needs the original files to be passed on through the original timeline. Otherwise, time travel information won't be out there. You know what I mean? And there's a big possibility of that not happening. The legends may not be able to time travel, therefore the legends won't exist and save time. You know what I mean? So it makes sense there. So then Zari gives Hoover a task to help the legends, and then Sarah wants to break Davies out where he's being trapped, but he doesn't want to leave because he did say he's lying about her being a time traveler, and Davies has a panic attack, unfortunately, and then Sarah helps him like relax, and she tells him that she messed up the timeline, and she has to she lost her Ava, so then Davies and Sarah have a deal to save each other's lovers, basically, because Davies lost someone too, and then Hoover has a plan from Edison, but before they leave, he glitches out, and then Edison basically the Hoover bot explodes, and then the real Thomas Edison has a heart attack and just falls and dies, and Zari tells Nate that she wants to be in the totem, like basically there, and they have like rush out basically. And then out of nowhere, like there's another Hoover bot and Thomas Edison bot, and the Thomas Edison bot show up because the Thomas Edison died. You know what I mean? That was just like unexplained why that particular bot showed up. You know, Spooner and Astra there out of the car, and like because the dude has like used the restroom, and then but some dude steals the car with Gideon sleeping in the back. And then Zari gives like the photo plans to Davies, the original plans, and then because Thomas Edison took them, you know. Davies, he starts the time machine, and then Ava and Gary reappeared, and it turns out that what Astra happened is that she faked the spell because she wanted to like motivate Spooner to do this, like basically she wanted to motivate Spooner, so that was a nice touch. But then Astra and Spooner want to stop everything because if they don't meet up with the legends, they will like never see them again and stuff. So Davies is turning on the machine, and Astra's like wants to use her magic to zap the power lines because they're really far away. And then Gideon hits the dude who stole the car, and she drives. And then I don't know why she didn't pick up, you know, Spooner and Astra, or but it made sense, right? Because she had like really run and saved like basically me up with the legend. So I did that, but still. Plus the dude was probably also far away, so that made sense. So then she's in a room with the rest of the legends, and the powers like the power blacked out, and then it turns out Astra and Spooner, they try to head there, and then they arrive, and boom, all of them are reunited. And then so Sara feels bad about losing Ava, and then Gideon explains that the machine will blew up because they need the blue ball from the next 300 years, which is where Bishop is timeline where he traded where he like much in the 100th episode where he originally traded the new Gideon protocol then. You know what I mean? So the blue ball from earlier that Zari found in Hoover's head, they used it to time travel to make the machine work, and they planned to go to Tahiti for some reason, and then for like another timeline in the future. Then it kind of worked, but it went somewhere else. So yeah, a lot happened in this episode. At first I was thinking about Spooner and Astra and Gideon, did they have much to do in this episode, but there was a lot that happened with this episode. As I said, it made sense that they did much. And then the things in the beginning of the episode, it was like so much of a coincidence that all these things happened. It's just, I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of that, to be honest. So it was a decent episode. It was an okay episode. Just there's so many coincidences, so much of a coincidence happening over and over again. And the thing with Gary, it's splitting to Kid, and splitting to Legends with the Kid, that made no sense. And the dollar thing with Gary and Nate was like odd, you know what I mean? And so yeah, the beginning was a little weird, but towards the end I really was excited to see all the legends united, and also a great introduction to Matt Ryan's new character. I would love to see what that is. I also love the fact that they're trying to say he told us like Ray, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's hopefully the next time I did a video of another legend mission, he told us like Rip or Hawkman, you know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah. What did I think about this episode? Do you like the beginning of the episode of how things were? Do you like that Gideon was acting a little bit goofy in the beginning? Just no, like it was okay, but just feels a little odd and weird for that happened to be that way. But yeah, overall this episode, I'll see you guys next week. Maybe just hopefully I'll be able to go live on YouTube next week instead of this. But yeah, hopefully I really want to get this episode out for all of you. Have a wonderful day. Saturday morning on spoiler territory. I'm gonna do my Supergirl episode next, so be on the lookout for that one on Twitter if you're interested in that one. I talked about Supergirl because the show ended, so be on the lookout for that. I'll see all of you, and also be on the lookout for my Eternals review later on. Not I'll see when I have time to make that video, but yeah. Alright, have a wonderful day. Bye one.